Yo guys, welcome to a brand new video of me predicting the Champions League knockout stages. I've already made my thoughts, my first initial thoughts of the Champions League bracket, the knockout stages, but now this time around we're going to predict who is going to win what by using the Champions League bracket system that is in front of us today. And what better time to do it than a day before when the Champions League is starting, the knockout games. You guys might see me travel to Atalanta or Milan, Bergamo, or whatever it's called. I might go there tomorrow. There's a possibility. I don't know if I will. The reason I might is because of, how lucky or how unfortunate I am that I can't go to Qatar and Saudi no more. I was supposed to actually be there today. But yeah, let's predict these games. The first one that I'm seeing in front of me is Paris Saint-Germain versus Chelsea. Chelsea, up the Chelsea. The way PSG has been this season is that they're very lackluster, unfortunately. I don't really see the same type of PSG that I used to see. However, there's even though I don't see PSG as good as I thought they were, Chelsea has been very, very poor lately, especially ever since Liam Rosenier came in. There's problems. The teams that they mostly struggle with are teams that are very low block. So I think they will most likely play quite decent. This is the Club World Cup final rematch once again. And honestly, even though Chelsea have some things going on for them, but of course, players getting red cards, and I think they have now 11 or 10 red cards so far this season. Even the manager getting a red card, Enzo got a red card. I mean, I can't see any way how Chelsea will win against PSG. I don't think it's feasible. I don't think it's possible. So for that matter, I would say both legs, PSG will win out of the both legs. I don't know exactly who and how, but I think PSG are going to win. Next up is Galatasaray versus Liverpool. If I had to pick one, I think Galatasaray are actually on a very great form. They almost fumbled it against Juventus, and it went all the way up to extra time. But luckily, they scored on the first half of the extra time. I think it was Osimhen that scored. A very, very, very good team, honestly, the way I've seen them. I think I've seen that Sané is also playing somewhat okay as a Bayern fan. I'm not really a big fan of Sané nowadays, but whatever. Liverpool, the team that has been very, very poor this season. The team that I actually predicted that they were going to be first this season has now shocked me on a whole different way. I thought Liverpool was going to be number one based on how much they spent. I think they are the team that has spent the most money this season. They have brought in so many world class or quote unquote world class players or good players, you would say. Players such as Ekitike. They brought in a whole new attack. Isaac, Ekitike, Florian Wirtz. I mean, Kerkez, Frimpong. I mean, it was a whole new rebuild, and I thought, with all these new signings, and also being previously the Premier League winners, I genuinely thought that this team would be amazing and that they would that they will be playing amazingly as well, and that they will be contending and competing against Arsenal for the league. But as unfortunately Liverpool have been very poor. They are on a horrible form right now. I think they won against their previous game they won, but honestly, I think realistically, there's no way Galatasaray is winning against Liverpool. Even though Galatasaray won against Liverpool in the previous meetup in the table, or whatever that league phase is. I don't really get that league phase or whatever it's called, but yeah. Real Madrid versus Manchester City. Unfortunately, Real Madrid have been just not poor. They've been so bad. And I'm just already going to just go ahead and say Manchester City. I think the way Real Madrid has been playing is so poor. They have been so bad with Arbiola as their new manager as well. I mean, ever since sacking Xabi Alonso, that just showed that there's a huge player power going on. But now they also have a very injury-ridden type of team with Mbappe, who is maybe gone. I mean, Camavinga has a toothache. Yeah, once again, like I said, Mbappe with Camavinga with a toothache. I mean, Real Madrid, there's not much going for them. They're struggling on the league. They're drawing a lot, and they are struggling creativity wise. Manchester City, on the other hand, is a team that has a lot of firepower. Defensively, they've been quite poor, but I don't think that Manchester City are losing any of the legs, actually. Maybe if they were going to lose one of the legs, it's the first one, like when they are coming to the Bernabeu. Next up is Bayern Munich versus Atalanta. I don't think there's too much to say about this game. Hopefully I am there tomorrow. If not, I'll be in Allianz Arena next week or the week after. I don't know if it's next week, but if it's next week, then I will be in Allianz Arena. I think Atalanta versus Bayern Munich, honestly, it's a whitewash unless somehow, some way Bayern Munich shock me. The way Atalanta came through is also very shocking, by how Dortmund absolutely fell off and failed and dropped the ball. They were supposed to be winning that game, but unfortunately, they are the ones that are out now. So I think Bayern Munich are going to be winning that one comfortably. Newcastle versus Barcelona, another rematch from, I think it was last year or the year before, where it was Dan Burn versus Lamine Yamal. I think Newcastle are having a they are in a very bad, poor run of form in the league. The only team they've won against recently is Manchester United, and even with that one, it was a kind of a freak kind of goal that made him win. And Manchester United, of course, were poor in that game anyway, and I can't see any way of Barcelona losing this game. Barcelona have been amazing. They've been on a crazy run right now in the league. Lamine Yamal is playing out of his world. I genuinely believe that Barcelona will be whitewashing Newcastle. Atletico Madrid versus Spurs. I have no reason to pick Spurs here. They are on the worst form ever. But for shock value and just for bans, I want Spurs to go to the semi-finals. I have no reason to do this, but I mean quarterfinals. But I think Spurs somehow, some way will be winning that one. Boulder Glimt versus Sporting. I don't know much about Sporting. I know a lot about Boulder, and I have allegiance with Boulder since I am from Norway. I will be picking Boulder simply of the fact that they have been performing and showing that they are the better team and one of the best teams right now in the Champions League. And for that reason, I will be picking them. And the way they performed against bigger teams in the Champions League also proves that they are a very good team. So in that sense, I will just be picking Bodo Glimt. And yeah, it's very straightforward. Arsenal versus Leverkusen, I think, even though I want Leverkusen to win, Arsenal are winning that one. Unfortunately, Arsenal are winning that one. I mean, it's very hard to not predict that one. I think Arsenal will be winning that one. So yeah, man, these are my quarterfinal predictions. Both legs, I think if I'm going to do like a quick prediction based on scorelines, I think with the quarterfinals and the semifinals, I want to do my own little predictions there. If I was going to predict something, I'm going to say Bayern Munich and Arsenal are going to be in the Champions League final. If I want to be a villain, I want to say Manchester City versus Arsenal. And Arsenal meet Manchester City in literally every single facet of the tournaments. I mean, Carabao Cup, they're going to meet in the league not too long after. And right after that, they're going to meet in the Champions League final. And also they might meet in the FA Cup. I mean, sensational stuff, guys. I kind of want to see that. But I'm going to hold off on that. PSG versus Chelsea, the first leg will most likely be, since it's in France, I think PSG will probably win like 2-0, 3-0. Galatasaray versus Liverpool. Once again, there was this weird bogey stats that when you come to Galatasaray, then you don't lose I don't remember what kind of bogey stat it was, but I think Liverpool are gonna hammer them. 3-1. Manchester City versus Real Madrid. I think it's gonna be I think surprising it's gonna be maybe like a 3-1 situation. 3-1. Yeah, it all depends on how the lineup is, but we'll see. I think it is 3-1 for Bayern Munich versus Atalanta. I think it's going to be a whitewash. You know how Bayern Munich rolls. I think it's going to be like a 5-1 situation going on. I mean, it would have been amazing to watch that. So 5-1. That's my prediction. Newcastle versus Barcelona. I think for some odd reason it will be like 4-1 with Rashford performing out of this world, and Lamine Yamal being one of the best players right now currently alive. I think they will just like dominate on a whole different stratosphere. Atletico versus Spurs. Well, I have no reason to pick Spurs. I mean, this is a team that is about to get relegated, but just for fun and shits and giggles, I would say 1-0. Glimt versus Sporting. I think realistically, Glimt versus Sporting. Man, I think Glimt will win like 2-1. First leg it will be 2-1. Second leg it will be a little bit tougher. The reason I think Glimt might win this leg or this entire draw against Sporting is because that there's no league right now currently as we speak. So I think, and I genuinely believe, this is something I genuinely believe, I think Glimt is going to win that one comfy. Leverkusen versus Arsenal, I mean, last time they met, there was something about, Leverkusen won and they haven't lost against Arsenal in the Champions League knockouts ever. But unfortunately, that will be changing. And I think it will be like a 1-0. Okay, you know what? Surprisingly, I think Arsenal might lose this one on 1-0 or a 1-1. It might become a draw. One of these will become a draw, and I think it might be the Leverkusen Arsenal game, or Arsenal might somehow, some way lose, biases aside, and then they'll win in the Emirates. But I think the first game, first leg, I think they might lose that one. I don't think there's gonna be any shock this time around in the league or in the brackets, unfortunately. But hey, we'll see what going. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, leave your comments down below what you guys think. Am I accurate? Do you guys disagree with something? Are you guys looking out for someone? Let me know down below and I'll probably respond to any of them. And if you guys want me to maybe vlog the Bayern Munich versus the Atalanta game, if I do go there next week, comment that down below because I might go there. Since now that I have free time, I was supposed to go to Umrah. Since I can't do that and I can't go to Saudi, I guess I'll just spend my time otherwise. But yeah, I'll see you a lot in the next one. Peace.